Today is the last day of 2025, and markets, when you look at it, the volumes have already seen a bit of a dry up in the last few trading sessions. Today also, overnight, what we saw, US markets, that was a bit muted. Asian markets, some of them are closed today. So let's look at the ones which are open. Taiwan index is managing to hold on to some bit of a gain of almost 0.5% there. Hang Seng is holding on to a decline now of 0.6%. So that is something that we'll be keeping an eye out on. We have the South Korean market as well as the Japanese market, which are shut for trade today, while ASX 200 is holding on to cuts of almost 0.2%. So a bit of a dull day that's come in for the markets as well on the Asian market front. Let's look at the Nifty implied open. What's the indication that we have there? A very muted start. Nothing exciting there. 2-point uptick as of now, slight bit of a positive bias. But yes, a muted day is maybe something that we'll keep an eye on. Okay, now it's 3-point down, so it's flip-flopping between the red and the green. But nonetheless, it's still a very dull day that we're watching out for in terms of the market. But how are these overnight cues going to be impacting our Indian market? We have a team of research, as always, to settle up for trade, tell you which are the stocks to watch out for as well. First up, let's go across to Vivek, who's here to tell us the important cues that we should be keeping an eye out on in today's trading session. Good morning, Vivek.
Well, good morning. As we bid adieu to 2025, quite a lot to look forward to, especially as far as 2026 is concerned. Remember, today we kick off the January series as far as the F&O space is concerned, and with 4 new additions, there'll be a key trigger to keep an eye out for. In terms of the overnight cues, like you mentioned, US markets ended lower for the third straight session. Volatile prices, especially as far as the commodity space was concerned. Gold as well as silver were quite volatile. Silver, however, managed to bounce back sharply from the lows that it saw on Monday. In terms of Indian markets, yesterday again a lackluster trading session in terms of volumes. However, it was quite volatile given the fact it was the last day of the December series, and you did see significant buying actually emerge, especially in the second half before tapering out once again towards the end. The Nifty managed to hold about the 25,900 levels. Banks relatively outperformed. PSU banks actually gave a larger fillip to the banking pack yesterday. Metals index continued outperforming, up almost 2%, tracking global metal prices. And along with that, today you are seeing the news on the bottom of the screen in terms of some protection to the Indian steel industry as well. Market breadth favored declines. Advance decline ratio was at 3:4. Key triggers to watch out for today, like we said, a new F&O series, outcome of the cabinet meeting, that we will look forward to, and also keep an eye out for on Privy Specialty Chemicals. A large block deal is expected to transpire there. Gift Nifty indicating a largely flattish start for our markets today.
Okay, Vivek, thank you so much for that. On that note, let's move across to Gaurav now, who's here to tell us which are the important stocks to watch out for in today's trading session. Good morning, Gaurav, over to you.
Well, yes, good morning. First, let's talk about Bharat Forge, because company has signed its largest deal for small arm contract worth 1,662 crores with Ministry of Defence. Other than that, rights will also be in focus because company has received LOA for supply of some of the electric locomotives, and this order is from Zimbabwe worth $3.6 million. Arfin India, this company will also be in focus because company has got an order worth 321 crores for the supply of aluminium sector conductor. And lastly, let's also talk about Dynacon System and Solution. Now, this company has got an order from RBI worth 249 crores for software project. Apart from that, Power Grid, let's watch out for this one because they have received LOA to set up 2000 MWH battery energy storage project in Andhra Pradesh. And let's also not forget about Taj GVK. So there was a termination pact which was executed between Indian Hotel Company and other companies, and according to that, Indian Hotels, they have completely exited the company, and promoter Shalini Bhupal has acquired around 25.5% stake from Indian Hotels at a price of around 370 rupees per share. Lupin is also in focus because Netherlands arm of Lupin is now going to sign a pact to buy 100% stake in Visu Pharma. And lastly, let's also not forget about Privy Specialty Chemical, because as per sources, we may see some selling as high as 6.3% stake, which will be in the market. And the offer size is going to be around 2,850 rupees per share, which will gather around 700 crores from the company. So definitely, let's see how it goes for all these companies in a day-to-day.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Gaurav. Let's move on and talk about what we should be keeping an eye out on in terms of the world of F&O, and we have Sudarshan joining in with us to take us through those details. Sudarshan, good morning.
Good morning, Vinny. So market has been a range for the last few trading sessions. Yesterday also we saw that Nifty manages to hold on to levels of 25,900, especially because of the outperformance that we have seen from Nifty Bank, and that came because buying that we have mainly seen in PSU banks, and that helped Nifty Bank close in the green, while while all the other indices were in the red or near flat line. Now, going forward, as we say, Ant bhala to sab bhala, so hope the last day of 2025 brings the hope and we start 2026 on a high note. But if you take a look at the rollover for December to January is at around 72.5% versus three-month average of almost 76%. Now, if you take a look at the last few January series, one thing is common in all the Jan series of last 5 years, we have seen a down move, and that move has been in the range of 0.5 to almost 2%. But one positive part is FI's long exposure currently is at 9%, which is at almost 3-month lows. So whenever there is a long exposure is at lowest levels, we see a big move over the next few series, and that's what reflecting the data of last 5 years. So what else we need to know going into Jan series? First, Nifty lot size is revised to 65 from 75. Nifty bank lot size revised to 30 from 35, and also 4 new stocks come into the FNO. Some of the cues that will be in the focus: first, Q3 updates will start coming in. Second, if there is any news ahead of the budget, and lastly, if there is any update on US-India trade talks.
Okay, Sudarshan, thank you so much for that. Surely we'll keep an eye out on all those important cues in the world of FNO. But